Thank you so much, Matt, and good afternoon. Today I want to talk about how carbon removal is evolving as an industry from a single set of technologies, notably direct air capture, which is our flagship technology, but into something much broader. A portfolio approach that connects local solutions to global impact. So, at a high level, our goal has always been to remove CO2 from the atmosphere at a climate significant scale. Because according to the IPCC, even if we do everything right on emissions, there's still a gap. If our goal is to restore the climate, that means we'll need to reverse emissions. This is what the gap looks like across this century. You see here where residual emissions in hard-to-abate sectors are really the issue. So across aviation, agriculture, heavy industry, and so forth, we'll need to remove between 6 to 10 billion tons of CO2 every year by mid-century. Carbon removal is what deals with those emissions. And this is what's required to bring atmospheric CO2 levels back down to pre-industrial levels, not just hold them where they are. So this is where Climeworks started. We've been developing direct air capture since 2009, from the early days in the lab to one of the most advanced carbon removal pathways today. We capture CO2 directly from the ambient air and store it permanently underground. And unlike conventional carbon capture, this is about removing historic emissions that are already in the atmosphere. We think that distinction matters because oftentimes people talk about CCS. Carbon removal is a different equation on the carbon accounting metric. It's drawing down historic emissions that are already in the atmosphere, as opposed to removing them from a power plant. Quick infographic on that. So we're on track. Over the last few years, we've scaled significantly from Iceland to the US and now expanding in new regions, including a large-scale deployment in North America and the Middle East. And we've gone from proving the technology to building a global platform. But our mission remains to scale carbon removal to climate significant levels. And that has led us to a fairly clear conclusion, that no single pathway will get us there to the megaton scale that's needed each year. And in the last few years, we've broadened our approach to enabling portfolios across multiple pathways. A few images from before, when we were just a DAC company. And now, working across organizations, responding to the needs that they have in their own net zero strategies. We've launched Climeworks Solutions in the last 2 years, where we've changed the conversation entirely. We're no longer looking at DAC as a single solution, but exploring together with organizations what is the right mix. And that's really the turning point for us in the industry. Based on the demand we've heard from customers and the trust we've built across the industry, across Fortune 1000 companies where we're actively engaging 30%, we understand that DAC may be critical for some, but it's responding to the demand in a way that connects to value chains and supply chains across the world that resonate with different solutions. Because some methods draw down CO2 in what's known as the shorter biogenic carbon cycle, like nature-based, and others store carbon over long geological timescales, like DAC, but other kinds. And each come with different trade-offs: durability, cost, scalability, and co-benefits. And that's exactly why we launch solutions, because we understand portfolios are what matter. And it's about matching portfolios to customers in ways that really resonate with their value chain and supply chain in strategic regions. For example, in coastal regions, mangroves can deliver incredible carbon removal benefits and ecosystem protection. In agricultural contexts, approaches like biochar, enhanced rock weathering, soil carbon sequestration, they can all improve crop yields while delivering durable carbon removal. In more tropical regions, you really see afforestation and reforestation shine. In regions with suitable geology or industrial infrastructure is where DACs, bioenergy CCS, and many kinds of mineralization can come into play. And anywhere you have waste biomass, you can unlock pathways like biochar and BECCS without competing for land use. So designing a portfolio is really much more about drawing down CO2. It becomes a question of how best to scale climate impact with local solutions that ladder back economic value to the communities that host them. And alongside that, credibility is critical. We work with a global set of vetted partners. Here's just a small selection. But we focus on due diligencing them for months, and we focus on the measurement, reporting, and verification standards that uphold the quality that Climeworks has always maintained. Because if you can't measure it, you can't finance it, and then you definitely cannot scale. And we've seen incredibly strong traction in the last 2 years as the only project developer who's leading portfolios. We've delivered across our solutions at 100% delivery rate, which is pretty unique in this carbon removal industry today. And we continue to expand both our supply and our partnerships globally. This was our wheel a year ago. Now we've introduced super pollutant mitigation because we believe that's a really important complement to carbon removal. Super pollutants, for example, methane, HFC destruction, they have a much higher climate forcing impact. And so removing them doesn't quite make sense given their timescales. So Climeworks is evolving. We started as a leading direct air capture company, and we continue as one. But we realize that portfolios are the future, and that's the way we're going to solve climate change. It's with local solutions that carry global impact and deliver those benefits to communities today. Thank you.